Go for it.
All right, continue. So I'm going to share screen. You guys can see my super cool background.
We can.
Can you see that? The
Yes,
WordPress on bricks.
that looks great.
I made that one of my favorites. All right, so this evening we're going to talk about how to increase e-commerce conversions. Let's see here. There we go. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Topher DeRosia. I'm a senior developer advocate at BigCommerce. I tweet a lot about BigCommerce for WordPress at that hashtag there, BC for WP. You can find me just about anywhere on the internet at Topher1Kenobi, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Slack, you name it. I don't know anybody else using that handle. I've been a web developer for 25 years now and a WordPress developer for 10. Getting up on 11 every year. It's a little bit more time. I started back in the days when my first websites were built on a black and white terminal with links. There were no graphics. When I say links, it's like the cat. That's the web browser. It was a good time. So this evening, our agenda, we're going to talk about e-commerce conversion rates, what conversion rates are good and what aren't good, how to increase your conversion, how to monitor your conversion rates, because if you're not measuring it, then it doesn't matter, and then some Q&A at the end. So let's talk about e-commerce conversion rates. What is conversion? Before I really got into e-commerce, the term conversion did not mean much to me. And then I was told it's sales. And then I was told that it's not just sales. And that's the key right there. It's not just sales. A conversion is the completion of any goal you set, anything you want. So an online sale is a common one. But maybe you want to measure how many people are adding products to their carts, or how many people are adding products to their wish list, how many people are signing up for your email, how many social media shares. Any KPI your company finds valuable is a conversion. And so if you're ever dealing with some company that says, hey, we can help you get more conversions, ask them what it means to them, and then tell them what it means to you and see if they can still help you, because it can matter. An e-commerce conversion rate is the percentage of website visitors who purchased something from your online store or met a goal in a set period of time. So an average e-commerce conversion rate is 1% to 2%, which sounds really low to me, but the industry likes it. So there we are. If I owned a store, I'd want 80%, but what are you going to do? Even if you're doing everything right, you can still expect to win the sale around 2% of the time, which means that sales is a long game. You're probably not going to sell something the first time someone comes to your site. You want to get them back to your site. A 2% plus conversion rate should be the baseline goal for your online store. So if you're getting 2, you're doing all right. Don't stress. To calculate your own conversion rate, you divide the number of users by the number of conversions to get a percentage. So if your online store is getting 5,000 visitors and 50 conversions for a set period, that means your store's conversion rate is 1%. So you would either want 100 conversions to get that 2%, or fewer visitors. And it's counterintuitive, but if you can sell more things to fewer people, then you're better off. So then when you do get more people, you're still selling more. So tools to monitor conversion rates. These are pretty cool. I like them. Heat maps are fascinating to me. This is the picture you're looking at here is a heat map from Hotjar, and they can track your mouse and see where people are paying attention to your website. So in this picture, on the right, you see it's red at the top and green, yellow, then green. That is the percentage of the website that people are looking at. They say there is no fold on the web, and other people talk about a keeping things above the fold. And there is a fold, and it's kind of it's slushy. It's not like paper where it's always a third of the sheet or something. But there is a fold, and people are always going to view the top. Always. It's what comes up, and they're not always going to scroll. So keep everything really important above that fold. As an example, on the left side, in the top left, there's a button there that the mouse goes to so often that I can't even tell what it is. I don't know if it's a buy button or a search button or what, but that's the thing people care about. If that button were below the fold, it would be devastating. That's the button people want. So beyond just keeping it above the fold, make sure it's really visible. Maybe make it bigger. That's the thing people want. So really make that big. Just a sec here. All right. Somebody just texted me and asked me how they can join this presentation. So I'm gonna stop share for a minute. I'm gonna send them the Zoom link, if you don't mind.
Go for it. I wrote it in the chat, but if you have any questions for Topher, there's a Q&A section. Just leave your Q&A, your questions in there, and we'll answer them at the end. Use the chat just to, discuss topics and such with the rest of the attendees, but don't ask your questions in the chat. Let's keep them in the Q&A section so they're easy to find and we can have one space to go through.
Right. So if you're not familiar yet, this is Zoom webinar, so only the presenters can speak and share video. The attendees can only listen. So if you do want interaction, you have to do it in the Q&A section or the chat box.
Yeah, we forgot to go over all that stuff in the beginning. We apologize.
Nice. Twitter won't let me copy the link. Can you post it to the meetup page?
Well, we try to keep it. If they join the meetup, they'll see it. If they say they are attending, it'll become visible for them. If you also want to send me their Twitter handle, or if you just post your Twitter handle, I'll try to send them a message.
Sure.
I think I do a follow though. I'm not sure.
Slack here. I actually don't know his Twitter handle. I'm on the wrong Slack. Okay. I'm just going to tell him to say he's attending on Meetup. All right. Let's get back to this.
If you want to send him my handle, if he has any problems, I can help him too.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Back to it. So Hotjar looks really cool. I haven't used it personally. I've done a bunch of research, and I like it. I recommend it. So next, find out who your customers are. QuantCast Measure is an amazing piece of software that can learn a disturbing amount of information about everyone. They can tell you how old people are, how much money they make, what education they have, their ethnicity, their gender, all kinds of stuff. So then you actually compare that information with who you think you're marketing to. So if you have a product that you think is perfect for older people, and the majority of your customers are in their 20s, then you should find out why the 20-year-olds are coming to look at this thing and maybe change your marketing. Maybe you'll find that your product is difficult for older people to find or deal with, and so their kids or their grandkids are working with it. There's all kinds of stuff you can learn about your customers that will influence how you market and draw people in the way you want them to. Find out where your customers are going. This is where good old Google Analytics comes in. You can find out where they're from, how they found your website, if they're returning or new, what browser they're using, whether they're on mobile or not, how many converted, and how long they stay on your website. I was recently very, very surprised to learn that on a lot of our stores at BigCommerce, Safari, the browser, is about 45 to 55% usage. And I thought, who uses Safari? And then I noticed it was all iOS. Mobile people use Safari, which means then that 45 to 55% of their traffic was mobile Safari. You throw in mobile Android and you're getting really high with mobile. And so suddenly your whole process changes as you start thinking, wow, maybe 75% of my customers are on mobile. How does my website look on mobile? So look into all that stuff on Google Analytics and figure out who your customers are and what they're using. Find out what they want. Every e-commerce platform has a built-in analytics system. BigCommerce does, WooCommerce does, Shopify does, everybody does. And they keep track of what's being purchased and how often and what time of month, what time of year, all that stuff. So find out what people are buying most and get more of it. Find out what people are buying least and get rid of some of it. Find out what people are returning and figure out why they're returning it. Does it break too easy? Is the sizing poorly described? You can change some of that. You can change how sizing is described on your site, and suddenly maybe those pants don't keep coming back. Find out what people search for. If you have a store and find that people are searching regularly for a thing you don't sell, maybe you get that thing and you sell it. Or you change your marketing so that people aren't confused about what it is you do sell. So let's talk about how to take action. Number 1, offer free shipping. Do it. Always. People become accustomed to free shipping because of Amazon, and they will expect it, and if they don't find it, they'll go somewhere else. It's the old story of driving all the way across town to save 2 cents on gas. People will do it. People will leave your store if you don't offer free shipping. And you say, well, how can I afford that? Shipping is expensive. You roll it into the cost of your products. You raise the price on the products, you offer free shipping, and people go, woo, I'm getting a great deal. And if they feel like they're getting a great deal, they're going to buy from you. So offer free shipping. That's a strong one. Provide limited time coupon codes. And there are 2 things going on here. One is coupon codes. People love a deal. You make them think they're getting a deal and they will love you. Give them a real deal and they will really love you. But the limited time is important. It creates scarcity. If you send someone an email with a coupon and it's open-ended forever, they'll go, oh, that's great. Someday I'm going to come back and buy with that. And 10,000 emails later, it's 6 pages deep in Gmail and they've completely forgotten. If you say, here's a coupon and you have to spend it by Halloween or Christmas or this weekend or, whatever, just any time limit, they go, oh, I better get right on that or I'm going to lose this. And they don't want to lose it. They want a deal. And so often they won't even wait till the last minute. They'll go buy because the deal is there. So coupon codes are awesome. Limited time is important. Tweak and test your e-commerce checkout process. The fewer options available, the higher the conversion rate. Always. If there's something you can take off the form, you will get more money. You will make more conversions. That's the goal. So you have fewer payment gateways, which is a little bit counterintuitive, and fewer shipping options. You might think if I give them lots of options, they'll find the one they like and they'll buy. Well, then they end up with decision paralysis. Do I use FedEx or do I use UPS? What's the difference? Is one cheaper than the other? I don't know. What about payment gateways? Am I paying a higher rate with this one or PayPal or what? Fewer options. Give them, if possible, just the one. And if at all possible, none. If you only have one shipping option, Don't even give it to them as an option. Say, hey, we're going to ship it to you, and it's going to cost this much. Takes the whole thing right out of the equation. Then consider skipping the cart and go direct to checkout. This doesn't work for every store, but it does work if you're only selling one product on your store. The cart is there to show a summary of the products that they are about to buy with the total and the price and the tax. If they're only buying one thing, they don't need that at all. You can skip it. So when they click buy, it goes right to checkout. It speeds the whole process up, and conversions will go up, I promise. Use cart abandonment software. The way this works is at some point you get the email address of the person buying. They put some stuff in their cart and they walk away for any number of reasons. Could be because they're nervous about spending that much money. It could be because their kid spilled milk on their laptop. Could be any reason, doesn't matter. You can then email that person an hour later or a week later or a month later or all three of them and say, hey, we noticed you were shopping and you put some stuff in your cart. You're obviously interested in it. If you click this link, we'll put it all right back in your cart and you can pick up right where you left off. It's also very, very common to include a coupon with this process to say, hey, I saw you put that stuff in your cart. Would 10% off help you make that decision? And that is so common that there are a lot of shoppers who will put stuff in their cart and leave deliberately because they know that within 2 or 3 hours they're going to get an email with a coupon in it. So it's your decision to do that or not. They're sort of playing you, but you're selling them stuff and they're buying your stuff. And you take that into account and everything works out. But conversions go up with this stuff. People, their kid spilled the milk and they forget to come back. And you remind them and they go, oh, yes, I really needed that thing. And they'll come back and buy it. Most e-commerce platforms have cart abandonment software. WooCommerce, it's an add-on, which is fine. That's their model. Excuse me. BigCommerce has it built in. So look around for it. Look at your platform, see what's available for cart abandonment software, and get it rolling. Let customers check out as guests. Remember the thing before about removing steps in checkout? This is one of them. The GIF we're looking at here actually is checking out as guest. You only ask for the email address and you use that for the abandoned cart software. But if you can ask for a full account and get their name and address and email and all that kind of information, which can be very useful and in the right store is very appropriate. So I'm not saying you should never ask for a login, but I'm saying if you can get rid of it, it will speed the process and you will get more conversions. So consider having them check out as guests. Have a great product return policy. A very strong fear that shoppers have is that they won't like what they bought and be stuck with it. So their money's gone now and they still don't have the thing they need and they have this thing that they don't need. And people who are afraid don't buy. So a clear, simple return policy can remove that fear. You make it easy and the fear goes away and they buy. Amazon's another great example of this. For a long time, I didn't want to buy from Amazon because if I needed to return, I didn't know how. Would I have to get my own box? Would I have to take it to a UPS store or a FedEx store? Are there both? I don't know. I never do that. I never ship stuff like that. Well, recently they said you can go to back. You can take your return to any Kohl's store and just hand it to them, and they will give you money right there on the spot. And I've done it several times. There's a Kohl's not too far from my house. I walked in the front door, and there was a great big sign that said Amazon returns this way. I went over. I stood in line for 5 minutes, 2 or 3 people in front of me, and handed the guy my gadget. He scanned the UPC code that came with it, and he handed me cash. It was awesome. Removed all my return fear. So obviously, you're probably not going to strike a deal yourself with a major chain like Kohl's to do that kind of thing. But if you can have a document on your site that says, listen, you don't like it, mail it back. This is how you mail it. We will credit you immediately. There was a lot of fear. This one.
Hey, Topher.
Yeah.
Hey, Topher, do you want to do the questions during your presentation or after the presentation?
I don't have a preference. Let's do them
All right,
during.
Great. So if you open your Q&A panel, you'll see that Jack Kleinfeld has a question.
Let's see. Q&A. Oh.
We can just read it to you to make it easier for you.
Yeah,
Topher.
I don't know what that did.
Yeah. Anyway, Jack Kleinfeld wrote abandonment software. How many? Excuse me. How about email that says the price is going up instead of a coupon?
That would probably have a similar effect, especially with the timing. If you can say this is going to go up tomorrow, or if the price is going to go up on the 1st of January, and this is the end of November, then they're going to have the incentive to buy. And that's a cool transparency thing. People feel like they're in the know. They're part of the backside of the company. You know, they get to know, you know, what's coming, what's going on sale, prices are going up. And the more you can be transparent with people and make them feel like they're part of the family, part of the company, they're going to like you a lot more. Anything else so far?
That's it so far.
All right, cool. All right, so this one should be obvious. Make your add to cart and checkout buttons prevalent. Why would you not do this? However, it's relatively common for web developers to get so used to where their cart and checkout buttons on their website are that it never occurs to them that it would be hard to find. They're right there. But if you don't know where right there is, that it doesn't help. So they need to be big, visible, easy to use. If they're not, people are going to get frustrated. And if they don't just leave, they're certainly never coming back because they had a bad experience. So have your cart and checkout buttons really easy to find. All right, so our summary. Remove as many obstacles as you can from all over the place. Remove them from the checkout, remove them from returns, just any place that you can find to get rid of a task that your buyers have to do is going to increase your conversion rate. And make your entire checkout process as easy to use as possible. And this can get imaginative here. If maybe you do some GeoIP sniffing and you see that your buyer is in Orlando. Pre-fill out the shipping fields with city and state and zip even, maybe. This is a little risky because GeoIP can be a bit dodgy. But the idea is to think outside the box. If you can figure out a way to pre-fill that form for them, boy, that'd be great. Then they wouldn't have to deal with it. Anything you can do to make that as easy to use as possible. And then make people feel like they're getting a great deal on your site, whether they are or not. So, as I mentioned with the shipping, if you roll the shipping into the price of the product, it could be that the price is exactly the same as if they had just paid shipping. But it doesn't feel that way to them. It feels like they're winning. They're getting a great deal. Tell them about the coupons. Telling them about the price is going to go up will make them feel like they're getting a deal because they're not paying the price it would be next January. So anything you can do to make them feel like they're getting a deal is going to help a lot. Most of the information in this deck came from this one blog post, BigCommerce.com, conversion rate optimization. One of the things that I have always admired about BigCommerce is that their blog is not about their platform. It's about e-commerce. And you can read every blog post on there and take it and use it on any platform. It's really about helping you sell stuff as a merchant as opposed to build a gadget in your big commerce store. So I highly recommend you check out the whole blog. It's really great stuff. You can email me, topher@bigcommerce.com. You can hit me at Topher1Kenobi just about anywhere. I'm on the Make WordPress Slack if you want to find me there. And that is the end of my presentation.
Awesome. Very great stuff, Topher.
Thanks.
If anybody has any last questions, we got another one from Tutor4.
Yeah.
I was using PayPal for buyers to purchase products from my site. Rather than have PayPal buttons, what do you think about using my Cash App ID for people to use when buying? Thanks.
I have no idea what Cash App is.
There you go.
So it's probably a great idea.
Probably a great idea.
Cash App is similar to Venmo or PayPal.
Okay. So basically people would just be sending you money and trusting that you would send them whatever it is they're buying from you.
Yeah, because the problem with like Venmo and Cash App is they're both there's no escrow, there's no in-between middleman between the buyer and the seller, and so there's no safety. It's kind of like you have to know who you're sending money to.
Yeah, I would use a real payment processor for that. And there are a zillion ways to do it. If you want to do like a really small minimum viable product, get Gravity Forms or something and throw the PayPal thing on there. There are a ton of options.
Another question. What are the advantages of BigCommerce versus WooCommerce?
Well, do we have another 40 minutes? Okay, so I'm gonna do a high level here. So BigCommerce is a SaaS, and WooCommerce is a plugin you run on your own web server. We have the advantages of SaaS over self-hosted are that's a really common question. You can Google that all day long about why you should use a SaaS over something hosted. The product that I work with is BigCommerce for WordPress, which is a merger of the two, and that's where it gets really fascinating. And I think actually where e-commerce is going to go in the long run. For example, we started as a SaaS and are moving into WordPress. WooCommerce started as just a plugin and is moving into SaaS. I don't know if you noticed, but Stripe and TaxJar and maybe a shipping thing are now in Jetpack and run on the automatic servers. So the whole idea of a WordPress plugin working with a SaaS is becoming much more common. With BigCommerce, all of the heavy lifting is stored on the BigCommerce servers. So we don't store any customer data in WordPress. We don't store sales data, none of that stuff. Where WooCommerce really falls down is when the tables get overloaded because you are successful. So the more successful you are, the slower Woo gets. And there are ways to mitigate that, but most of those ways involve throwing money at RAM and CPU, and that can only take you so far. So with BigCommerce, because we store that on the servers, on our servers, it's more secure, it's faster, and it's about 75%. No, was it 25% cheaper? I don't remember the ratio. 25% cheaper than Woo. So there are a ton of advantages with BigCommerce for WordPress. I don't have time to go through all of them all evening long. It's just better all around.
Those that don't know, SaaS stands for Software as a Service.
Software as a Service.
I saw Jason posted that in the chat just to.
Gotcha.
Yeah. cool. So another one, how do you convert clicks to sales if using affiliate marketing links? I can get 500 clicks per post and 0 sales.
That there's a lot of psychology in that, because they're clicking on your blog post but not clicking on your links to go buy the thing. Boy, really good content helps. If this is going to sound a little cold, but if you're writing all your own content and nobody's clicking on your links, maybe you should get somebody else to write your content, which is not a bad thing at all. It's very, very common to get a ghostwriter. You pay them $100. You say, write an article about product X, and I need affiliate links in it. Don't be dodgy about it. Make it obvious. Look, this is an affiliate link. I'm doing this to make money, but this is my genuine opinion about this product. Being really transparent and upfront can help a lot with affiliate posts. People don't like it when you try and trick them into buying something, and that you'll actually lose out in the long run. But if you're really upfront about it, people are happy with your honesty, and they'll go for it. So it's about the quality of your content, the transparency of what's really going on. I'm working on a project right now where I'm considering signing up for every single affiliate program I can think of in WordPress and making a list on one page of every single one of them with no actual content. It's just a list of them. And then when I'm looking for support, I say, listen, if you want to support my organization, my plugin, whatever, just go to my affiliate page. And if you want to buy something, buy it through there. Very, very upfront, transparent. I don't have affiliate stuff anywhere else on my site. As long as people know what's going on and they like what you're doing, they're probably going to buy through your affiliate program. Have I ever used Equid Shopping Cart? I used it once 5 or 6 years ago, and I decided not to end up using it. I went through a build and didn't like it. They started having the same idea as us with using a SaaS on the back end and hooking up to WordPress, but I'm not convinced they did a good job. This last year at WordCamp US, one of the vice presidents of Equid was there at their booth. They had a booth at WordCamp. And a friend of mine went over, and he was also a friend of this VP. And he said, and the VP said to him, oh, no. My friend said to the VP, hey, BigCommerce for WordPress is really picking up, isn't it? And the VP of Equid said, yeah, I know. And that was the end of the conversation, which made me happy at the time. I mean, I want us to be doing well. So anytime the competition is concerned, then I'm happy.
I think Equid could work with maybe change their name. Equid just doesn't mean anything. So it's just
yeah,
it's a brand.
Isn't it an acronym for something? I don't remember.
Probably e-commerce with ID. I don't know. It's like I'm guessing that it's an acronym for something, but it doesn't mean anything. It's like it's just a branding problem.
Yeah, I know how to find out.
So we have probably another 20 minutes. We can hang out and answer more questions. I'm sure Topher would be happy to answer any questions. If anybody has questions about anything else, feel free to throw them into the Q&A, and we can apply some brain power to it.
Mm-hmm.
Equid stands for e-commerce widget.
Silence. I guess everybody learned everything they needed to learn.
Yeah.
No, there's a question.
Do you have a
another
pricing
question?
comparison between WooCommerce and BigCommerce?
I don't know that I have one that's up to date. About a year ago, Cody Landefeld did a blog post for Automatic as a ghostwriter, where he didn't compare. He just said, how much does a WooCommerce store cost? And I did my own calculations ahead of time, and I was very happy to learn that we matched. And the average is about $1,000 a year. And that includes hosting, all the common plugins. You need a payment gateway if you get a shipping thing. Maybe you signed up for Jetpack to get TaxJar, all that kind of stuff. It's about $1,000 a year for the average store. You might spend less, but you might spend a lot more. BigCommerce, out of the box, apples to apples, offering the same feature set as that $1,000, is going to be about $750 a year.
Someone asked a question in the chat. Is it easy to upsell products on BigCommerce?
As easy as anywhere else. I would say upselling is not a technology problem, but rather a site layout problem, a psychology problem. So, for example, you're using BigCommerce for WordPress. I actually saw this. Where was it? I don't remember. Somebody made the cart into a slide out from the right, kind of the way Shopify does. And in the bottom of the cart, they recommended a product that matched what was in the cart up above. And they did it all in WordPress. They didn't use BigCommerce at all, which kind of surprised me. But they used just custom fields and associated products, though you would associate posts. And so that was one way to upsell. BigCommerce itself, like in Stencil on our servers, has some upsell add-ons where you can recommend products based on what you're viewing and things like that. But I'm going to reiterate, I don't think this is a technology problem, so it doesn't really matter what platform you're on. You just need to figure out how to recommend one product if people are dealing with another one.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to do the Jetpack question next.
Yep, go for it.
Would I recommend Jetpack? Does it make a difference on WordPress on a WordPress site without it? That's a little bit of a loaded question. I tend to not install Jetpack if I can help it. And the main reason for myself is that when I do use it, I use 1 or 2% of what's inside. And that just seems like overkill for that 1 or 2% that I need. And the 1 or 2% that I need, I can usually get as standalone plugins. So if you look at the features of Jetpack and you see, oh, I'm going to use 75% of that, that's amazing, then go for it. If you look at it and you say, no, you know, I just need these 1 or 2 things, then I recommend going for getting them separately. Now, when it comes to Stripe and TaxJar for e-commerce, I don't think there's an option anymore. I think the only Stripe plugin for Woo is, the only mainstream one is in Jetpack now. I'm sure somebody could build you one. And maybe that's the way you go. I don't know. But when it comes to whether or not to use it, I recommend looking at how much of it you're going to use and weigh that against any potential performance issues, which aren't huge, but they're there. You have to figure it out.
Jetpack's basically the
what you
kitchen
need.
sink. It's like Automatic doesn't know where to put something, so it goes in a Jetpack.
Yeah.
And it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger over the years. There's a question in the chat. What is the best SEO plugin to use on BigCommerce? Or SEO
Depends on if you're talking about BigCommerce for WordPress or traditional BigCommerce. If you're
let's
on
just
traditional
say, let's just say WordPress.
WordPress, okay.
Since the WordPress made it.
We have a Yoast add-on in beta, and that would be the best to use. It's not readily available. You'd have to ask me for it. Other than that, they're all the same, in my opinion. products in BigCommerce for WordPress are simply post types, or it is a post type. So they're like posts. And so any SEO plugin that knows how to mark up a post properly is going to be the thing. Now, the beta for Yoast is particularly good because Google can collect e-commerce information about products, and Yoast can report that properly. But other than that, there isn't a specific one.
Great. How is Stripe integrated with Jetpack? That's the question. Echo. I use Stripe. Am I missing out on anything not using Jetpack?
I didn't know you could use Stripe on WooCommerce without Jetpack. Carolyn, are you using WooCommerce or are you using it with something else?
Carolyn, feel free to just, append on the Q&A or chat. She said yes, but with a comma, so I think that she may
Yeah.
still be writing.
Well, let me answer the question at the top because that might answer all of it.
Okay.
The Stripe integration with Jetpack is only for WooCommerce. So it's not going to help you with Gravity Forms or any of the other forms plugins or anything you might write on your own. Although I suppose you could probably hook into it or something, but I don't know why you would. So if you're using WooCommerce and you want to use Stripe, then Jetpack is going to make it the easiest way by far. If you're using Stripe in any other forms plugin or anything else, then you don't need Jetpack for it at all.
Great. Cool. Does anybody else have any questions? We still have a bit of time. Oh, she said thank you. I guess we answered.
Yep.
If anybody else has any other questions, feel free. Now's the time. We are recording this session, so I will be sharing it out after.
So T. Lewitt asks in chat, what is the best SEO app to use?
We covered that already.
Yeah.
We did? No, I missed it.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention.
So what happens? I step away for a minute. Yep.
Yeah. But what I was saying is that we are recording this and we'll be sharing it out. This is Pam Unk's account or Zoom account that she uses for her business. She runs the Morris County meetup and has been nice enough to let other meetups use her, Zoom account. So once she gives me the link, I will share it out on Meetup and in our Slack. So, keep an eye out for that in case you want a refresher after this is over. Steven asks something.
I see that.
I inherited Equid's site project a few years ago.
I read through it. I can answer.
Oh, go for it.
So yeah, the way BigCommerce for WordPress works is you have your products in BigCommerce. That is the source of truth. And our actual end game is headless e-commerce. You don't have to use WordPress. It works with Drupal and Adobe Creative Suite, and I know some React stores. There are a whole bunch of headless options. But with WordPress, your products are in BigCommerce, but then it syncs them into a custom post type in WordPress. And once that syncing is done, it's very vanilla WordPress. There's nothing really special about it. It's just items in a custom post type. The cart is on WordPress. So as people are adding things to their cart, it's right there in WordPress. They're moving along. The checkout by default is an embedded iframe, which I was a little wary of at first because iframes, but they did a fantastic job over at Modern Tribe, making it very, very native. I've never seen an embedded iframe on a BigCommerce store that did not look like it was part of the normal page. So they do a really great job there. I saw there was a question about search engines as well. Because it's just regular WordPress, then Google is going to crawl it just like anything else. So that works really smoothly as well. Extending that, as all the world knows, WordPress's built-in search kind of sucks. And Search WP is amazing, and they built in custom support for BigCommerce. And so you can extend your site search quite a lot. And also Facet WP built in some custom support so that...
Wait, has Search WP gotten any better? Because the last time I used it, it was a pile of garbage because they were storing the indexes in the database, and the database was getting massive.
Yes,
I had rows
actually.
that were like rows that were like 9 and 10 million. You know, they were
Yes.
massive database rows.
Search WP 4 came out probably 3 months ago and dramatically improved the way it handles database stuff. So I recommend checking it out.
I'll take a look again.
Yeah. But Facet WP also has built-in support, which is really slick. Will BC for WP pricing be similar to Equid for WP? I have no idea what Equid's pricing is. So ours is obviously much better.
No bias, sir. No, none bias.
Yeah. I'm going to put Stan on hold for a sec. Paul asked a question in chat. Can you add video to the cart in BigCommerce? The cart page in BigCommerce is just a regular old WordPress page with a shortcode on it, or Gutenberg block, whichever you want. And so you can add anything else on there you want. Do you want to throw a video on your cart page? Absolutely. You can put any video anywhere in WordPress because it's just a regular WordPress site. And then Stan, thoughts on WP auto updates, major, minor, or not at all? When they were first announced for major, I was wary because I thought, how could that possibly work well? And it obviously has. And that is got to be one of the most amazing engineering feats I've ever seen to get the percentage of success that they do with major updates on WordPress. For minor updates of core, I would still say yes. For plugins, I am much more often, as a developer, much more often doing weird, stupid things I shouldn't be and don't want auto updates. And so I was actually pretty happy to see how easy it is to turn it off per plugin. That was really slick. I liked that a lot.
Don't auto update plugins. It's not a good idea. Test them on staging. Make sure they work.
It's not.
Some plugins have a good development flow. Others are just some guy in his basement writing a plugin, and
that would be me.
Yeah, you have no idea like how much he was drinking that night when he decided to SVN commit that.
Yep.
In my experience, the older the site and the older the theme, the more trouble you're going to have with auto updates, because there could be some pretty old code that that's just not compatible with an update.
Oh, and the worst. Okay, so I run HeroPress, HeroPress.com. It's running a custom theme that I made myself. I called it HeroPress. 3 years later, I log in and I go, that's weird. There's an update for my theme. And because I am an idiot, I clicked it. And somebody made a theme called HeroPress and put it on .org. And it had a newer version number than mine. And so it wiped out my work and put in his. And I had a backup.
Amazing.
So, it didn't kill me. But, but auto updates would have nailed. I mean, that would have got me right there.
Wait, did I make an update to my theme?
I know. On .org that I've never published.
.org? What happens if I do this?
Yeah, it was like,
So
that is amazing.
That fifth Jack and Coke last night was it did me in.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of there's an actual thing where people on heavy medication will buy stuff on Amazon and not remember? And like boxes will show up at the house. They're like, what is this? And there it is. Yeah, it's a pretty common thing. It's way more than I would have expected.
Well, their flow is like
so easy.
so easy. Like
Yeah.
you could be in any condition and get through it. That says something, you know.
Yeah.
One-click stuff. That
Oh,
one-click
man.
stuff is
It's
dangerous.
like click, 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 and it's like it'll be
Yeah.
at your house in an hour. Like, oh.
So Liz wants to know
yeah.
about shipping boxes. I actually don't know the answer to that. I would guess that if UPS can do it, then BigCommerce can do it. And I would guess that would be the same for just about every platform. If the shipper can do it, then you can do it.
Awesome. So there's nothing left in the Q&A queue unless someone has something. We've already answered 19 questions. There's no Woo's plugin for UPS can't.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. We learned something.
Well, then absolutely ours can. Liz, if you shoot me an email, topher@bigcommerce.com, I will find out if our platform can do it and get back to you.
Awesome. Cool. Lots of great questions. Alex asked about the recording. So I announced before that the recording will be available as soon as Pam Unk sends it to me. I will message her after this. She's usually good about getting it to me in like a couple days, and when I get it, I will post it on this meetup, on this specific one, so you will get notified in the comments when I post it. I will also post it in our Slack channel. For anybody that, here, I'll post it into the chat. If anybody wants to join our Slack, where did my chat go? There it is. It's right here. You just click on that link, put your email in the form, and you will be added to the Slack, and you can talk WordPress with our group as much as you like. Liz is asking about your email again.
Email. Topher@bigcommerce.com. Slack is good for slacking.
Yeah, it's good for slacking. No, it's a chat platform. It's pretty popular. Oh, he's just saying haha. Maybe a serious question or not.
Slack is wonderful for talking about code. Even if you're in an audio meeting, you want to paste big chunks of code somewhere. And I use it all the time. I use Slack all the time for that.
Slack could also be a time suck, so you have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a member of 20 Slacks like I am, like it's half your day.
I'm only logged in. I'm logged into 7 right now. I'm probably gonna log out of a couple of them soon.
Yeah, I'm up around 30, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably have about 30, but I'm only logged in actively into like 7 of them because.
Yeah.
So our next meetup is the Hangout on October 5th. So the Hangout is everybody can talk, everybody can chat. It's it's basically you got 30 or 40 people on the screen. Usually pretty popular. We recommend have a drink in hand or snacks or whatever you want, and we talk about anything and everything WordPress. So it's pretty popular. I love it. After that, October 19th, we'll be doing our next session. Pretty sure I'm presenting. I'm not sure yet what the topic will be. It's either going to be demystifying web fonts for WordPress or multi-site magic and content syndication. So I'm not sure which presentation I'll be doing.
Why don't you post it in Slack and have everybody put an emoji reaction to it, and whichever one wins, you do.
Yep. So it's either going to be understanding fonts, web fonts for WordPress, or multi-site magic with content syndication tricks. So I don't know. I'm not sure which. Not sure which one I'm going to do yet, but it's going to be one of those two topics. Oh, however, if somebody does want to present and has something that's more exciting than those topics, please reach out to Michael or myself and pitch us your idea for presenting, and we can consider it for October and November.
Yeah, just hit us up on Slack or just message us through Meetup is probably the best to reach out. We can help you come up with a good title, a good description, all that stuff. It doesn't have to be directly WordPress related. It could be WordPress peripheral, but try to work WordPress in there since we are a WordPress meetup as best you can. Well, I think we're done with questions, and we're at 8 o'clock. Oh, someone asked one last. What is the difference between BigCommerce and WooCommerce? I think we answered that already.
Yeah. I recommend reviewing the video.
Yeah, we do have there will be a video with all that discussed and all those questions. So just keep an eye on the meetup or the Slack and you'll see it. When does the pizza get delivered?
In a few minutes.
So.
However, I'm gonna say, as a fellow Midwesterner, hey, Michigan boy, Topher, I'm from Michigan. And we've talked about this. I'm also from Michigan.
Yeah.
There is a brand new Detroit-style pizza place right here in northern New Jersey that I cannot wait to try. It's called Blue Steel Pizza, and it's in Bloomfield, New Jersey. And,
the first time
beat the pants off of it, this floppy, greasy crap that the New Jersey.
Hey, I like this floppy, greasy crap.
I
do want to taste that pizza, that quote unquote pizza or whatever you call it.
The first time I ever heard of Detroit-style pizza was at a pizzeria in Denver, Colorado.
Nice.
Interesting.
I'm like, what's Detroit pizza?
I'd be interested in trying it. Cool. All right. Well, thanks again, Topher. Hopefully we can have you on again to do another remote meetup with us. Maybe we'll get you as a speaker at our WordCamp sometime in the future, whenever that happens. But everybody stay safe, and we'll see you at the next hangout or the next presentation. Everybody have a great night.
Yep, we'll see you.
Thanks again. All right, bye everybody.